Welcome to Bloomington Today. I'm Kaylin Cockrell. Thanks for joining us. Well, Earth Day is intended to inspire awareness and appreciation for the Earth's natural environment. So what better day than Earth Day 2011 for the Mall of America to announce that they will be replacing 5,400 outdoor lights around the facility and inside the parking ramps with new energy-saving LED lights.
Well, as we all know, the energy grid is getting more and more demand on it regularly. So this will reduce about 800 kilowatt hours on that grid itself, which is equivalent to about 11,000 homes. So it's very significant just in energy savings. The fixtures that are going up are 54 watts. Again, if you do the math, that's replacing a 175. The efficiency is substantial. The lights that are going out there will produce probably somewhere in the range of 10 to 20% more light than what we're seeing out there right now. It'll be a very significant change in color because it'll all be very white, very vivid, no more of the yellow that you see, and there will be no pollution going to the outside.
In addition to pollutant and energy reductions, the lack of maintenance is another huge savings. The LED lights will last 5 to 7 years before needing to be changed. Funding for the project was made possible by a sizable grant from the U.S. Department of Energy and the Minnesota Chamber of Commerce. Xcel Energy provided a conservation rebate as well.
It is anticipated the lights would be put up in July, maybe early June, mid-June, but July for sure. It is the plan at this time to replace the 5th floor and then the 3rd floor of a ramp so people can see the progress as it goes. This will be a 2 to 3 month process to replace all 5,400 lights in the mall. They cannot do it at a time where they're going to disrupt the traffic and the parking that's essential to make sure everybody can visit the mall.
It took 4 years of light testing for the mall to settle on this particular lighting design made by Acuity Brands. According to mall officials, this is the largest conversion project of its kind in the entire U.S. and will reduce energy consumption in the ramps by 2/3. That's enough saved energy to run Nickelodeon Universe for 6 years. We'll keep you updated right here on Bloomington Today as installation kicks off early this summer. Last week on Bloomington Today, we let residents in on a kickoff event for the Hennepin County Traffic Enforcement Group that'll happen on May 6th. Today, we'll bring you news on one kind of dangerous behavior officers from the 14 different agencies will be targeting. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. If I can't even talk while checking my email and applying my lip gloss, I probably shouldn't be trying to do those things while driving. That's exactly the mindset that Hennepin County Traffic Enforcement Group has when starting their summer tour. They are targeting distracted drivers, as well as law-breaking pedestrians and bicyclists in the area. Driver distraction is one of the leading crash factors in Minnesota, accounting for around 20% of crashes every year, resulting in 70 deaths and 350 injuries. The Department of Public Safety says those numbers are much lower than they actually are because of the challenge officers face when determining distraction as a crash factor. The Hennepin County Traffic Enforcement Group will continue patrols throughout the summer. Distracted driving includes texting, checking emails, putting on makeup, eating, reading, and shaving, just to name a few. In celebration of Older Americans Month, Bloomington Human Services is making Civic Plaza the site of a very special lunch, where Blue Ribbon Baker Marjorie Johnson will share her story while teaching the mayor a thing or two about baking ginger snaps, as the two team up for a cooking demonstration. Marjorie, a Minnesota native, has received more than 1,000 blue ribbons from the Minnesota State Fair, which earned her national attention. She's been on shows like The View, Rosie O'Donnell, and is now a correspondent for The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Gigs like this keep Marjorie's baking career going strong, but her love of baking began decades ago.
You know, I baked my first cake when I was 8 years old, and I remember it so well because we had made this chocolate cake, and it was on the counter, you know, cooling. And my mother and I had a say so, and then the back door, there was a knock at the back door, and so my mother went to it, and I heard her say, because it's right off the kitchen, I heard her say, "Oh, Doris, you must come in and taste this cake that Marjorie made. You'll never believe how great it was." Well, you can imagine little 8-year-old me, how proud I was and how happy and everything. My mother was so proud of me. I'd done such a great job. So I thought, boy, I like this and I like the cake, so I'm going to continue doing that. And that's exactly what I did.
Marjorie promises the baking demonstration with Mayor Winstead is sure to be a good time.
If you want to be entertained and I understand the mayor, right? We're going to make these ginger snaps, and then they're going to get a chance to taste them. Oh boy, and you're just going to go home and make them. And I'm going to have my book there, and not only does it have these wonderful recipes, but it has something about each recipe. So it's more fun to make then, you know, when you know something about it, and so it's just a win-win situation.
On hand, there will be lots of copies of Marjorie's cookbook, The Road to Blue Ribbon Baking with Marjorie, that will be available for purchase and autograph. Again, the event is set for May 23rd at Civic Plaza, beginning at 11 a.m. For guests under 60 years old, the cost is $6. People over 60 are asked to make a small donation, up to $3. Seats are limited. Please call Human Services at 952-563-4948 to make your reservation by May 19th. Now it's time for a short break. When we return, we'll have the pleasure of welcoming Mayor Gene Winstead to the studio with us. Stay right here.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Oh, 先生你好，歡迎光臨，行得先。唔該晒。Brandon.
Welcome back, everyone. We are now pleased to welcome Mayor Gene Winstead here today. Welcome, Mayor. Thanks for being here.
Well, happy to be here, Caitlin.
Good. So, recently you presented a State of the City address, which is an annual event that discusses important issues that happened in Bloomington over the course of the past year.
Well, my 12th year of presenting the State of the City. It's something we do usually every March. It really brings together all that's been happening in Bloomington. We always work in a little bit of history, where the city is at and where we think we're going. And so it's a long presentation. It usually runs about an hour. We cover a lot of ground with it.
A whole year summed up into an hour. That's not too bad. Yeah. Why don't you highlight some of the key points that were discussed at this year's State of the City presentation?
Sure. There are multiple elements that go together in putting together the State of the City. Like I say, we want to bring together kind of a little bit of history and frame what's going on in Bloomington. Then we talk about the financial condition of the city, where we're at, the taxing structure, where we're going, how the taxes are being played out. Then we get to development within our community, what we see on the horizon, the projects that are taking place and what's happening. And then we'll talk about things that affect the residents of the city of Bloomington. We spoke of such things as unemployment within the community, the foreclosure rate of different homes in the city, different programs and events that tie our city together, things that we do to really unify ourselves as a community, and then what we can do in the future to really try and improve upon all those areas and just keep working forward to make a better community.
Now, Mayor, a large part of the State of the City focuses on the city's financial health. Can you describe what position Bloomington stands in?
Well, I would be happy to report that Bloomington's financial health is very solid, and not a lot of cities can say that these days. Over the course of the last year, the city did maintain bond ratings of AAA from 3 separate rating agencies. And those rating agencies really are a good outside look and do evaluate the condition of the finances of the city. And to put it in perspective, there are only 31 municipal jurisdictions within the entire country that maintain those 3 AAA bond ratings. And so that is a feat. But I'm happy to announce too, and what I announced at the State of the City, that the 2011 tax levy for the city of Bloomington was decreased modestly. And so we really held the tax levy really on par, as well as our general fund budget. We reduced that, a minor decrease over this past year. And I think it really helps people. And so their property taxes are really going to be maintained for about the next year at a level amount. So we're maintaining our good financial status, as well as the taxes are still very much in line. And if we were to even compare our property taxes to other communities comparable to us, we always show favorably to them. So all is good in the financial aspect. That doesn't mean people don't like to pay property taxes. No one likes them, but Bloomington, you're getting a real value. And I'm also happy to report that I think the services provided in the city of Bloomington are of par, if not better, than anywhere else in the area. So all good in the financial arena.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that quite a bit of time was spent on was the future of Bloomington, one thing being the development such as the South Loop area, and that is the area between 494 and Trunk Highway 77. And there are some finalizing details in the mix for the plan for that space. Talk a bit about the vision for South Loop that the city has.
Well, South Loop, of course, you've defined where it is and what it is. It's primarily the area south of the airport, now known as South Loop. And it represents about 65% of any future development and growth in the city of Bloomington. So it's really a big portion of our future and what we can do. Now, it will include commercial area, it will include phase 2 of the Mall of America, it will include a great degree of housing, it's got great transportation links into the area, it's adjacent to the wildlife refuge, it just has a whole lot of things going for it. And as I said, it's going to be the major concentration of development of Bloomington over the next couple of decades. So it's very important. We're talking about making it a very sustainable area. You'll see high-density housing in there, whether it be condos and apartments, townhouses. You'll see businesses going in there, hundreds of thousands of square feet of office and other business. You'll see manufacturing areas there. And here's kind of an interesting fact that people aren't aware of. There are 2 major, and I say major, international semiconductor manufacturing facilities in the South Loop area. We have Polar Semiconductor, we have Cypress Semiconductor. These are major players in the manufacturing of all those little chips and gizmos that we all need, and all the new electronics, all the gadgets that we're purchasing these days. And these are companies that have very high-tech engineering and production jobs that really can represent good employment for the community, and both of them are going through expansion projects, both of them in the South Loop area. And we're talking about adding hundreds of jobs to the workforce in the city of Bloomington. So we'll see all these things coming together. We're talking about a new roadway system in this area. We're talking about a very pedestrian-friendly area where people will be able to walk to where they want to get to. So it's just a lot of things going. And so the planning is taking place, and we hope to get this going and rolling quickly.
Perfect. Well, the South Loop, the vision for that is an example of some commercial development, but residential development is something that was also discussed at the State of the City. Talk a bit about how that is going for Bloomington.
Sure. Well, we sometimes have a tendency to focus only on commercial or office development, but there is so much more happening in the city of Bloomington. Now, I think everybody is aware that we are a fairly developed city when it comes to the residential, but there's a 40-home subdivision it's been proposed and approved by Pulte Homes on the Bethany campus there. And so that's going to be 40 homes, all of those at around $400,000. So that'll be a nice new subdivision for the community. We also see some senior buildings coming in there. They've been approved, they're ready to be developed in our community. Another one at the Bethany campus. We've got the Wellshire building under construction out on Lindale Avenue and 106th. So there are just many other things happening all in the residential arena in the city of Bloomington, and that's good. some new construction, some new housing, it'll only help.
Wonderful. What other, we talked about a lot of things that happened in 2010 at the State of the City address. What's in store for Bloomington in 2011 now that we are, fully in?
Well, like you say, we're fully in, but we're looking to see things improve for the people in the city of Bloomington. As I mentioned, we see unemployment. And unemployment for people in Bloomington is at about 6.4%. And that's based on this past January numbers. Now that's better than this metropolitan region, it's better than the state, and it's better than the national average of unemployment. But still, if you're one of those people that is unemployed, it really presents hardship. So we're looking for great improvement there, and we hope that the development of the jobs in our community can really help in that arena. We're looking at the foreclosure rate in our community. At any given time, there are maybe about 200 homes in the foreclosure process in the city of Bloomington. Now that doesn't mean they're vacant homes or people have moved out of them. Most of them are still occupied and people are working through the process of foreclosure or working to redeem the home, but that still is a problem. So we're looking to work and get that rate down so that improves the lives of people in the city of Bloomington. So there's just a lot of different things that we see coming up through 2011 and into 2012. Different projects, different community events, different things. We're looking forward to the opening of the farmers market coming again this summer. And people don't realize that about 40,000 people throughout a summer will visit that farmers market. And it's a great community event. It does bring people together. People are really appreciating it, and it's a good way to go find some healthy produce right here in the city of Bloomington.
Absolutely. I think that, what a lot of people may not take into account is that the city of Bloomington really does take an ownership in the health and well-being of their residents through things like farmers market, community gardens. I don't know if you're aware of any other ones that... Well,
we do work. We were afforded a grant by the state of Minnesota. It's called the SHIP grant, and it's regarding health improvement. That's where the SHIP comes in, State Health Improvement Program. And so we have worked diligently within the SHIP grant to really, and it involves the communities of Edina, Richfield, and Bloomington, but to really make things better, get people out, get them active, work to really give them a better quality of life and address some of the issues that can affect their health. The alternative transportation plan is part of that grant. Get people out walking, get people out cycling, just get them doing things that can only help in the long run.
Absolutely. And we have lots of lakes and trails and outdoor areas here in Bloomington. We actually, just last week on Bloomington Today, talked about some of the trail restoration projects we have in store. So lots happening.
It's there's so much, and we are fortunate in Bloomington. Absolutely. We do have a great park system. We do have great opportunities for people, and I just want to make sure everybody takes advantage of them.
And now coming into the 2011 year, there quickly was a city council seat vacancy, and now that is filled and taken care of. Why don't you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, I think people who follow are aware that Council Member Steve Elkins resigned his position on the City Council due to his appointment to the Metropolitan Council by Governor Dayton. And so that left us a vacancy. And just this past week, we did appoint Mr. Tim Busey to that seat. We were fortunate. We had many people come out. About 8 different applicants came out, some very talented and qualified people who wanted us to consider them for that appointment to the seat. And so it was really a good field of candidates on which to choose. It was a tough decision, but we did make the appointment of Mr. Tim Busey, and he starts service, and looking forward to working with him.
Wonderful. Well, finally, in the next, 2 or so weeks here, you are going to be brushing up on your baking skills with Miss Marjorie Johnson, the well-known Blue Ribbon Baker. Why don't you tell us a bit about that event?
Well, I'm walking into this one blind because Marjorie Johnson is really a personality, and she is just a lot of fun. And it's kind of one of the events that we're celebrating Older Americans Month. And Marjorie, as I am, I think we both fall in that category now of older Americans, but she is going to try and teach this mayor on how to bake some things, and I think she's going to win that one. I have no skills, but she'll see to it that I either become a baker or become very embarrassed, one or the other.
You will be taught. I have confidence in that. Well, we'd like to thank Mayor Winstead for being here with us today. Coming up later on Bloomington Today, we'll have more on Tim Bussey being sworn in to the City Council. Also, the full State of the City presentation is available for viewing right from the city's homepage. Just click on the YouTube link. It's now time for a short break. We'll be right back after these messages.
When someone abducts a child, they're not about to advertise it. But we will. Sign up at wirelessamberAlerts.org to get free Amber Alert text messages on your cell phone. Help put a child abductor out of business for good. Wireless Amber Alerts. A child is calling for help.
It's a great day, isn't it?
Yeah. Too bad your boat's gonna sink at 11:05.
Don't come closer. I have rabies.
Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of a heart attack and other complications. Learn more at diabetesaonc.org.
Welcome back, everyone. The City of Bloomington would like to extend a big congratulations to 3 women that truly make people say, wow. The Bloomington Chamber of Commerce is happy to announce the 2011 Women of the Workplace, or WOW, Achievement Awards. There are 3 categories of winners, including Community Spirit Award, going to Deborah Krieg, Volunteer of the Year being awarded to Laurel Borger, and Woman of the Year honoring former Bloomington Mayor Coral Houle, who now works extensively with nonprofit organizations throughout Bloomington. This year marks the 8th annual WOW Achievement Award Luncheon. The purpose is to honor individuals who have contributed to the success and empowerment of women. To these WOW Achievement Award winners, thank you for the amazing service to our community. The public is invited to participate in the luncheon set for Monday, May 9th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Bloomington Hilton. The cost for chamber members is $30 and $60 for non-members. Bloomington City Council once again has all of its members. Tim Bussey was appointed to the vacant District 3 council seat after Steve Elkins resigned to join the Met Council back in March. As Mayor Winstead just mentioned, Bussey was sworn in at the May 2nd City Council meeting and will fulfill the remainder of the seat's term, which is up for election in November.
I, Tim Bussey.
I, Tim Bussey.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And of the State of Minnesota.
And of the State of Minnesota.
And faithfully discharge the duties.
And faithfully discharge the duties.
Of the office of Council Member, District 3.
Of the office of Council Member, District 3.
Of the City of Bloomington.
Of the City of Bloomington.
In the County of Hennepin and the State of Minnesota.
In the County of Hennepin and the State of Minnesota.
To the best of my judgment and ability.
To the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say just how pleased and honored I am to be chosen by the council to serve as the District 3 council member. I really am honored and looking forward to this challenge and looking forward to serving the people of the City of Bloomington.
Bussey is currently the Communications Director for University Services at the University of Minnesota. Bussey holds a master's degree in management of public and nonprofit agencies from the U of M. He has 20 years of experience in the communications field, primarily in the public sector, working 8 years with the League of Minnesota Cities. The 2011 curbside cleanup is almost over. Now that spring is officially here, get that spring cleaning taken care of. Crews will be making their final rounds, picking up items from Portland Avenue to the eastern boundary of Bloomington. We visited a few homes already filling their curbs with bulky items that wouldn't normally be taken by regular trash services. Items like mattresses, furniture, and appliances are all accepted. Goods like electronics, tires, paint, and oil are not accepted at the curb, but the South Hennepin Recycling Center would be happy to take those goods off your hands. That final cleanup date is set for Saturday, May 7th. If you'd like a full list of items that are accepted, visit the city's website. Well, with the curbside cleanup winding down, many residents hopefully discarded lots of unwanted items, but also may have come across some treasures that would be perfect to see at the 2011 citywide garage sale. The Bloomington Optimist Youth Foundation, with support from Human Services, offers the annual citywide garage sale, taking place Thursday, May 19th through Saturday, May 21st. Gather up your packed away treasures and start pricing them to sell, because the registration deadline is Friday, May 13th. Registration is $27 and includes a yard sign. Registration is $22 without a sign. Also, that includes advertising and an individual listing in the official registry of sale addresses. For a garage sale registration form, visit the city's website. From the homepage, keyword search Citywide Garage. About halfway down the page, you'll see a link to the registration form. On May 17th, the city will have a complete sale list site up, or you can purchase a list for $3 at the Edward Jones office located at 3920 West Old Shakopee Road. Well, that's all the time we have for today. To get more information on city projects, parks, road construction, and other events, visit the city's website. To check out past Bloomington Today shows or other city productions, visit Bloomington's YouTube channel, accessible right from the city's homepage. That and so much more is online right now at www.ci.bloomington.mn.us. If Facebook or Twitter isn't your thing, sign up for eSubscribe to have updates sent right to your email or cell phone. This is Bloomington Today, a presentation of the City of Bloomington's Communications Division. I'm Kaylin Cockrell. Thanks so much for joining us.